You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the Watkins Glen International. We are live here for the ECR NextGen Cup Series, ready to rock and rumble in New York. Getting ready for the Upstate Showdown 110 at the Glen. On the pole here is Tyler Burden. He is also your sponsor of the race. So shout out to Tyler Burden for being the sponsor of the race. To his inside is going to be Kyle Diaz, Tay McDonald, Travis Gilbert, Dwayne Furtick. Well, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we'll step back to the basics. I'm Liam Irving, joined up at the booth by Emily Arias. Emily, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful, back again. I know myself and Liam were not here last week, but from what we've heard, it was an amazing race they put on last week, and we're expecting that here this week as well here at the Glen. So excited to be here, and 45 laps is the distance. There are no stages, so it's going to be a straight shot through 0 to 45.
Like I said, Tyler Burden on the pole, Kyle Diaz, Tay McDonald, Travis Gilbert, Dwayne Furtick, Ryan McCall, Doug Denice, Aaron Spear, Aaron Miller, Michael Carter, John Osborne, and Robert Roth round out page number 1.
13 is going to be Alan Holtzman. 14 is going to be Kent Mueller. 15 is going to be Christopher Roth. 16 is going to be Pete Walsh. 17th, Marshall Harris. 18, 17 South. 19th, Adam Bowton. Then I believe, from the looks of it, 20th is going to be Derek Fulton. 21st, Kane Lee. 22nd, Bradley Rivers. And 24th, Eric Midget.
Hope on my part jumping in there so my name shows up, but
I almost said your
rock.
name, I will be honest. I was like, wait a minute.
Ready to rock and roll here. 45 laps at the Glen. This guy's getting ready. Green flag is in the air as the rest of the field closes in. This is going to be a crazy turn number 1 as Burden gets down in there. He gets in strong. His fastest in practice. A couple of guys running wide. Travis Gilbert making a return to the league. We look towards the back. It seems like everybody gets through the first couple of quarters clean. Into the S's for the first time. Marshall Harris coming up through here, and everybody single files out very cleanly here on lap number 1. Tyler Burden able to get away by about 6 car lengths down into the bus stop. Travis Gilbert's a guy that you know is going to be aggressive. He's up here in 4th place. Tay McDonald was able to jump into 2nd over Kyle Diaz on the start. John Osborne, he's up 3 positions from where he started, up at 10th place. Now he's in 7th. Going wide there is Ryan McCall.
That is single file line from the start to finish here tonight. Looks like there's some action in the back of the pack. As we make another lap here at the Glen, action between Harris right there. And I believe that is Kane Lee in the 91. Kane Lee going a little high there, going out of the turn. And looks like we got some news. Dylan Pippelmeyer in the number 9 car will not be making it here tonight. Is having some wheel issues. So unfortunately, he will not be out on the racing surface.
Unfortunate deal for Gilbert there, unable to get the start in the race.
Yes, and I would like to talk about it. Gilbert is back after, if I'm correct, more than 4 races he was MIA. He is officially back running P4 and able to qualify.
Yeah, he's able to qualify again. Remember, he was on probation for a couple of weeks, wasn't able to qualify. Had to run his way through the pack. This week, he's able to qualify. Started up front, started in 4th. I tell you what, man, Tyler Burden just put down the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:13.14. Almost half a second quicker than Tay McDonald's fastest lap, a 1:13.51.
Yes, indeed, as Tyler Burden running the fastest lap of the session, running a 1:13.14. Currently our fastest car here out on the field.
Kyle Diaz is all over the rear bumper of Tay McDonald here for 2nd place. He's closing in out of the carousel. He's got a little bit of a draft. Does he have enough of a run to try to make this into 7? Wide goes Tay McDonald. Here comes Kyle Diaz, going to be looking into the outside through the final corner. Might try a crossover here. He cuts down out of the final corner. He's looking to the inside. He's got a little bit of momentum. Here he comes down to the inside. Got a little bit of side draft there. Down the front straightaway. He's going to be able to complete that pass for 2nd. Goes in way low to make sure he's got enough space to slide wide. Excellent pass there by Kyle Diaz to take 2nd place. And now he focuses on Tyler Burden. 2.5 seconds, 2 3/4 seconds up the road.
Tyler Burden pulling away from the field now. Last lap being a 1:12.7. Fastest lap of the session here now. Running fast laps, lap in and lap out. We're only 4 laps in, and I mean, it's getting heated a little.
And I think there's a lot of speed left out on this racetrack right now. These guys qualified and practice in morning conditions. The sun hadn't totally risen on this racetrack, but They were able to get down into the 111.90s. Tyler Burden was, I believe, the only one able to get down into the 111s, but oh, big slide there in the back. That's Aaron Miller gonna get into the grass, narrowly avoid contact with that tire barrier. He had a big slide coming out of the carousel.
Yes,
Or
indeed.
probably
As
in the
ooh,
back is Aaron Miller may have gone off track again.
looks like it indeed.
Well, we've had a very wild opening few laps here. As things start to separate a little bit, we'll try to go ahead and show you some of the exciting action here at the start of the race. Here was Tay McDonald on the initial start. That's not a good angle. Yeah, runs off the track here, gets
Ooh.
up into the wall, and he's going to make heavy contact in front of Fulton.
And I believe that will end the race. That's a hard hit.
It's the Derek Fulton issue. A little bit sideways there through the S's. Gets up into the wall. He'll try to keep her straight, but goes off track right into their non-existent DRS though. Back live though, Tyler Burden has a 4-second gap over Kyle Diaz. Hasn't quite been able to get away from Tay McDonald. McDonald within 0.4 of a second trying to figure out a way to regain that gap, regain that position. Here's a battle with Alan Holtzman down to the inside of the 8 of Michael Carter, making it happen down in the carousel. He's going to get clear by a couple of car lengths coming up out of there. He's got momentum as well as Aaron Miller just in front of these guys. Little bit of a slide coming out of the carousel.
A little slide indeed. And at these road courses, you do get a little slide coming off. You got to be careful as up high goes a 74, Pete Walsh going into that corner, allowing, looks like Marshall to get by it.
Yeah, Marshall Harris able to get through. A little bit of a kind of a blinky issue there for him. Christopher Roth just back here. He's defending from Derek Fulton, who had himself a bit of an issue, a bit of an off, but he knows he's quicker than that. He's trying to recover. Not going to have the benefit of a caution flag throughout the course of this race. So he's got to get everything he can right now. 45 seconds behind the race lead. Got to try to keep that gap as stable as possible, if not on the decreasing side of things. Doug D. Nice. A little bit of a wide moment there through the the bus stop rather, which allows the 90 of Ryan McCall to get up there. The 91 or 81 rather of John Osborne just behind these guys. The 90 of Ryan McCall in that rapid fire pizza machine. Trying to close in on Doug D. Nice, who's rocking a Juan Montoya throwback. 40 car, but those D. Nice designs, paint schemes always look great out on the racetrack.
Yes, indeed. As rapid fire paint scheme, looking on the back end of be nice right there, trying to make something happen. Not much movement here in the field. Remember, folks, this is a road course, so once we start getting into this race, more into it, these are going to start spreading out. So a little less action, but as I speak of it, looks like Burden going around a lap car.
That's Alan Bergen, our SRM friend of the show. He's a partner up here in the booth. showed up here to get some laps. Talked with us a little bit before the show. He doesn't want to get involved in anything. He just wants to show up, run some laps, have some fun here. Tay McDonald closing in once again on the back bumper of Kyle Diaz. Now Travis Gilbert beginning to close in on this battle for second. He's now the race leader. He's broken into the 112s. He just ran a 1:12.28 as his fastest. This time around, he was 2/10 slower than Kyle Diaz behind him. Gilbert going to get stuck on the outside of Bergen there. Slows him down a considerable amount. He's going to lose half a second, maybe more, throughout the course of the S's. Tay knows if he stays close to this 26, he's in the battle for the lead. These guys have used up a little bit less of their stuff, potentially, than Tyler Burden up front. But Burden has been flawless all day. Throughout practice, throughout qualifying, he has been consistently the quickest car. We'll see how it goes on this longer run here. Most guys in practice didn't put down more than 5 to 10 laps. Now as we break through this 10 lap or so threshold, see what these guys start to do.
Yes, indeed. As our biggest, our biggest mover here tonight is Adam Bowen in the number 94 Chevy machine, up 6 positions. Quite a big leap, especially here at a road track. Certainly trying to make his marks.
5-time ECR Cup Series champion, 5 in a row from 2018 to 2022.
Yes, indeed. Aiming for a championship this year, as well as he has won a couple races a couple weeks back. Definitely going to be trying to contend this year for the championship as well. So we'll definitely see that later along in this season. So definitely going to be one of the cars to look out there.
Tell you what, as these laps continue on, it seems like Kyle Diaz might be holding Tyler Burden, or Tay McDonald rather, up just a little bit, as Tyler Burden is able to increase that gap. It's up at almost 6 seconds of a lead over Kyle Diaz.
6 seconds indeed. I'm going to be honest. I know myself I'm not a road track fan, a road course fan, shall I say. I know myself I'll be slipping and sliding out there. You would be the one seeing me hitting the wall instead of staying on the track. I don't know about you, but road courses are not my friend.
I'm good in some places and not so good in others. I think this is a place I'm good at.
I think I've seen you race here before.
Stop really well. It's going to close in on Burden just a little bit. Burden had to get past the lap car. Derek Fulton that time around. 5.5 seconds is the gap. Little bit of a slide there coming up off of 7.
Almost touches the wall there.
Using all of the racetrack that he can off of that final corner. Kyle Diaz try to do the same. It's still 5.7 seconds is the gap. 3/100ths of a second is the difference in the last lap that time around.
As I'm very surprised these drivers are not as spread out as I would think, going 12 laps into this 45 lap race here. Still neck to neck at some areas of this track, but you know, at these road courses, you tend to see not as much action, but when there is action, it is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're not a fan of driving on road courses, and I'm good at some of them. Like I said, I think this is one that I'm good at, but I tell you what, when you get your rhythm in, there's nothing better than hitting a solid set of corners. knowing that you're going to get through there, as Tyler Burden's had himself some sort of issue, slowed down. He's now down to 4.27 or 4.2 seconds over Kyle Diaz. 17 South just in front in the 88. Going to get out of the way here. Going to go way wide. It's like a Visa McLaren throwback potentially. Kyle Diaz now within 4.5 seconds of the race lead. He was the quickest car on track, the only one to hit the 112s that time around. The time before that, Tay McDonald was quicker. Tyler Burden might have himself something to worry about here in the later stages of this run. Of course, we're anticipating a pit stop, and if you're going to split the race, you'd want to do that within 10 to 12 laps of now.
Yes, indeed. And I'm going to be honest. As much as I mentioned I don't really like road courses, watching these drivers run them and watch how smoothly they run these turns, gives me a sense of peace of, it just makes me want to go out there, but then when I do it, I'm like, I don't know what these drivers doing, but they got to teach me something.
So easy.
That's what I'm saying. They make it look so easy, but once you get out on that track, it's a different story.
Ryan McCall's been trying to chase down Doug DeNice for multiple laps here. NextGen doing what it does. It might just be a little bit too tough to get close to somebody on these super high-speed corners that Watkins Glen has. Don't have a lot of high braking zones. I mean, you've got into turn 1, you've got into the bus stop, but other than that, these are a lot of wide, sweeping corners, speedy corners, designed for older stock cars. John Osborne closing in on the back bumper with Ryan McCall. Might have himself a nice run coming up through the S's. It's a little bit wide there, almost touches the wall, and that's going to allow McCall to get a little bit further away.
As right there, we have 4 cars bumper to bumper here. Looks like the Nice is looking on the inside of South right there. Going to be making that pass. South's going to be choosing to let them get by. Watch out. McCall behind them trying to make that space close down. Will he be able to do it?
Had that lapped car slowed down DeNice closer to Ryan McCall. Got him a little bit further away from Dwayne Burdick. A little bit of a slide there out of DeNice. McCall going to look to the inside on the final corner. Not quite enough there, but DeNice still sliding. John Osborne just behind McCall now. That's as close as he's been. Is he going to have a chance to make a move into the first corner? He's got the draft. Laid on the braking is McCall, and John Osborne has nothing to do with it.
Watch out. Osborne trying to make something happen. Trying to catch back up to McCall. Will he be able to do it? Looks like he is tracking down that bumper like a heat-seeking miss right there.
Miller goes around.
Ooh. Miller going to be light up the tires right there. Looks to have a toe link broken on the back of that race car, and indeed does.
Now that's going to be a tough deal to get back. Jared Fulton's also had himself an incident.
Ooh, caught in the grass.
Trying to let everybody by. He gets up into the middle of the bus stop, and I'd imagine he just stops. Yep. Comes to a stop to serve that penalty. Meanwhile, Adam Bowden just worked his way into the top 10, got around Alan Holtzman.
Up 9 positions. Last time we saw he was up 6 positions, gained 3 positions in the past lap so far. Another contender right behind Adam. Up 8 spots is going to be Bradley Rivers in the number 15 Chevy Camaro.
Adam Holtzman just gets out of the way of Adam Bowden here. Allows him to make the pass.
I'm going to be honest, that Microsoft paint scheme is pretty slick.
Definitely is, as Bowden now gets around 17 South. He's got a long way to go before Aaron Spear. 7 seconds up the road is Aaron Spear in 9th place, but Adam Bowden, our biggest mover so far. Bradley Rivers, like you mentioned, he's got 8 spots from the start of the race compared to Adam Bowden's 9. He's closer to Robert Roth, closer to Alan Holtzman, and closer to Michael Carter. than Adam Bowden is to the next car in front of him. Big lock up there at a 17 South, getting into the bus stop there.
As we are working almost halfway through this race, we're looking at about 5 laps, and about 5 to 10 laps for these drivers to possibly come down and get a set of stickers and a full tank of Sunoco racing fuel, as the halfway mark is what you want to try to aim for, like Liam was talking earlier. Is personally, that's where I would pit. I believe Liam would probably be on the same boat as me of pitting halfway through, just get it out of the way and push through the rest.
Lester Tyler Burden. I mean, you're doing phenomenal right now on these tires. He's half a second slower than he was on his fastest lap. Most of the other drivers are pushing almost a second slower. Not to mention that Tyler's fastest lap is a 1:12.28. Kyle Diaz's fastest lap is a 1:12.93. So, I guess to make a long story short, last time around Tyler Burden was over a second quicker than his second place competitor, but this time around it's going to be a little bit different. As Kyle Diaz is able to close in a considerable amount, coming up off of turn number 4 through lap traffic. This time around,
Kyle Diaz running the fastest lap.
that was the fastest lap he's run all day, a 1:12.62, 3/10 quicker than his fastest lap previously.
Also faster than Tyler Burden. So I have a feeling we're going to see Diaz running down Tyler very soon.
Oh, it could happen. Lap traffic definitely played a factor in that, but tell you what, man, to be able to put down a lap like that definitely goes to show that you've got something with these cars in front of you.
Yes, indeed. As little bumps coming out of there. Pretty in sync. As watch out. McCall's looking on the back bumper and Denise. Heat seeking a missile, what I like to call it.
Oh, McCall locks up on the brakes. Gonna get into the grass a little bit. That's gonna cost him some time. Here comes Osborne to the outside. McCall once again through the grass, and Osborne's gonna get by him.
Osborne getting by Ryan McCall right there. Gonna be allowing him to catch up to Denise right there. Will he be able to make it happen? Osborne's been fast week in and week out. Will he be fast here at the road course? We will see.
Take another look to see what happened as Ryan McCall got right to the back bumper of Doug Denice, but went off track. He closes in crazy, locks up on the brakes, and well, he does everything he can to complete the corner. These guys are on edge, lap in, lap out, every single corner that they're on it. Getting back live here, Kyle Diaz is under fire from Tay McDonald through the bus stop. Travis Gilbert hasn't let this battle get away from him. He just knows that if the right person gets out front, they can close in on the race leader. He believes the right person to be Tay McDonald as Tay gets a little bit loose over the rumble strips. That allows Diaz to get a couple of feet, very important feet, away getting into this next braking zone.
Yes, indeed. As goes wide. McDonald does there.
McDonald looking wide again on the outside of the final corner. Nothing doing there as Travis Gilbert now has a run. We'll see if he can get down to the inside. He's going to make a look down the front straightaway. How deep does he try to break it? Going into the first corner. Doesn't quite have enough as going wide is the 74 of Pete Walsh. He's had himself a few offs. Take a look at the Pete Walsh incident just before this last couple of corners for our race leaders. Oh no, he just locks up the brakes and spins.
Did not get any contact, which is really good.
Could have been a situation of downshifting a little bit too soon. Here comes Travis Gilbert right to the back bumper, getting in closer to the back bumper of Tay McDonald. These next-gen cars, it's tough through the middle of the corner to try to close in on somebody. Travis Gilbert has not let these guys get away. I tell you what, Tyler Burden, I wouldn't say he's struggling, but he's definitely letting these guys get closer and closer as it's now 3 3/4 seconds back to second place.
Kyle Diaz followed behind 2 cars behind him. Hornets Nest catching up to Tyler Burden. Tyler Burden has a lot on his mind, but you know, we're coming into that pit window of do I pit yet or not? And from looks like Tyler Burden is possibly going to come down with these drivers catching up to him to possibly get a new set of tires, or you know, will he want to wait a couple more extra laps and try to make it, you know, that little extra laps?
Well, how much of it is struggling behind the lapped cars that are going to fight him harder than they fight the cars behind him? Look at, he just passed Christopher Roth in the 62, put him 1 lap down, and just behind him, Kyle Diaz. How much of a fight is he going to put up to that second place car? It's now 3.6 seconds is the lead, the gap for the lead.
Watch that Hornets Nest behind. Robert Ross going to be in the middle between Tyler Burden and Diaz. Like you mentioned, will it cause a problem? You know, trying to get past these lap cars can burn down these tires. I know at ovals it can, and same for these tracks as well, because when you're behind that car trying to make moves, trying to dive bomb, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, as Diaz is starting to close up on that car back there. Christopher Roth.
Tyler Burden holds on to the race lead right now. He is the sponsor of the Upstate 110 Showdown at the Glen. Gonna go ahead and step side by side really quick. We'll be right back with pit stops and more action here on Sim Racing Media.
The search is over.
Oops. Live here at Watkins Glen International, your race leader coming into pit, so is Kyle Diaz and Dwayne Furtick. Tay McDonald stays out along with Travis Gilbert. John Osborne and Ryan McCall as well. Young Dean Ice went wide into turn number 1. You may have seen on our side-by-side coverage there. Take another look at that with the full screen when we get the opportunity. Tay McDonald now in the race lead, trying to utilize what he can. Clean air in front of him. Travis Gilbert getting into the back bumper there of 17 South, putting him wide. Burden gets out in front of Kyle Diaz, but not by much. Diaz right behind him with a draft down the back straightaway. Is he going to be able to try to jump him into the bus stop? He doesn't think twice about it. He says, no, I'm falling in behind. Hey, McDonald, Travis Gilbert come into the pits this time around.
Ooh, little wiggle by Burden there. As Diaz is showing pressure on Burden.
Big time wide moment there for Bradley Rivers. Just behind these guys is now Burden sideways once again. Diaz all over the back bumper. Trying to set up a pass down the front straightaway. Another slide out of Burden. Diaz has a nice draft, a nice run down the front straightaway. Less than a car length. He's going to look to the inside. He's thinking better of it. A lot easier to force a guy into a mistake than it is to send it in these cars. And couldn't force him into a mistake there. Tyler Burden able to drive away just a little bit. Re-inherits the race lead. Jay McDonald falls back about a second and a half behind Kyle Diaz. That's about where he was before the pit stop. We'll see if he's able to utilize these fresh tires. But Diaz driving in deep into the bus stop. There's going to be 20 laps to go here at Watkins Glen this next time around. That seems like a long time, but tell you what, when you've only got so many passing opportunities, you got to take what you get.
Yes, indeed. And remember, folks, there is no cautions here, so it is start to finish, no cautions, and kind of something new. It's been a minute since I've been on a road course myself commentating. Been weird to not see cautions and for it to go like this.
But it is pretty awesome to see a race that goes caution-free like this at a road course have such incredible racing. Take a look to see what happened to Aaron Miller. It's already off at that point. Yep. Couldn't turn the car and just decided the best course of action was to jump to the pits.
16 cars are currently on the lead lap here at the Glen. Tyler Burden, still your race leader, led almost every single lap here, if I'm not correct, every lap. But Kyle Diaz is still hot on his trail, trying to make something happen in that number 26 Chevy Camaro.
He's not too far off. I mean, he's within a second. We saw how Tyler was at the end of that last run. He was kind of falling back. Though some lap traffic kind of played into a factor there, but later on in the run, Tyler was a little bit slower. Kyle Diaz trying to stay as close as he possibly can to utilize what speed he'll have at the end of the run here with 19 laps to go.
19 laps to go, set to pace as a little wiggle coming out of Burden coming off of turn 1.
Not enough to make anybody concerned here as Tay McDonald started to close in on the back bumper of Kyle Diaz. Still about 2 seconds between them, but Tay felt throughout the course of that first run there that he was quicker.
Watch out, Bradley Rivers with number 15 is up 10 spots now. Biggest mover here tonight, making moves happen. Same for Adam Bowton.
Yeah, Bowton's up 9 spots. He's 2 seconds behind Doug D. Nice.
But I will say Bradley Rivers is moving up pretty fast. That's about almost a position every, 3 laps? 2 laps?
Just about. I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job. Every single time around, he got a little bit loose there going into the S's. But right now, he's got, looks like 4.5 seconds as Marshall Harris has crashed hard in the bus stop.
Marshall Harris is probably going to end his night here tonight, as it looks like the left front toe link is shattered off that race car. Just looking at not turning to that corner, he's going to make his way down pit lane next time by.
That's what they call a terminal vibration.
I think it's an insane terminal vibration, I think. That thing looks like it's vibrating a lot.
In the bus stop. Bit of a blink there, just couldn't get the car
I think
started.
he clipped the wall. I think he clipped the wall while entering the bus stop, is what I think happened.
Well, he's made the jump to the pits. Tyler Burden just put down the fastest lap of the race at the 1:12.24. Kyle Diaz has a chance to respond.
Yeah, still almost a second and a half back, trying to make something happen. Will he be able to make something happen? As Tyler Burden has launched this race, it's his race as of now, unless he makes a mistake.
And Tyler went even quicker that last time around with a 1:12.23.
He is lighting that car up.
He is doing everything he can to drive away from Kyle Diaz. Tay McDonald is able to get away from Travis Gilbert, but he's not able to close in very much on Kyle Diaz. Gilbert has a 24 second gap to the car behind him and Ryan McCall. Ryan McCall in 5th place, just now getting into the S's. Huge gap between 4th and 5th place, but Ryan McCall has a lot of cars behind him to defend from this 5th place position. Starting with John Osborne. He's had himself a strong run. He was racing Ryan McCall a little bit earlier in front of him for a time, but through the pit stops, they were both able to get in front of Dwayne Furtick. But Ryan McCall was able to get in front of John Osborne. Meanwhile, Dwayne Furtick in the Best Buy drops. The drop of the green flag sponsor. Doing a great job here in 7th place, trying to close in on that John Osborne machine. He's been quicker these last couple of laps around to see if he's able to close in. Aaron Spear, 9 seconds behind that battle. He's sitting in 8th place, and he's had himself a very quiet day. Not a lot of contact with anybody, not a lot of offs. That's the way you want your race to go, especially if you're going to be a top 10 competitor here in the Elite Cup Racing Next Gen Series. Doug D. Nice, he's had himself a couple of fun battles earlier on. He was racing with John Osborne and Brian McCall. Had himself a little bit of a wide moment in turn 1, which allowed both of them to get by. Then he pulled some pit strategy that didn't quite go his way. He's currently sitting in the 9th place after racing up in the top 5. Adam Bowden in the 10th position, up 9 spots from where he started. He's closing in on Doug D. Nice, hoping to get that all-important 10th position so he can be the biggest mover of the race. He's already in 10th place, but if he passes one more car, that is his 10th position gained of the race. A little bit of a bumper floating around there for a second. Adam Spear, or Aaron Spear, has gone off the racetrack. He's going to put Adam Bowden up into 9th place. That's the 10th spot that he's gained, but Bradley Rivers passes as well. Take a look to see what happened to Aaron Spear.
Ooh, Aaron Spear hitting head on with the wall right there. Mass damage going to be going to the pits. Probably going to end his race night with 15 to go, if I am correct.
Yep.
Ooh.
Just got in there wide, a little too fast, locked it up, hit that outside wall a ton.
Unfortunate ending for Spears' race right there, and 14 laps to go now. Set to the distance. Tyler Burden looks to be above a 3 to 4 second gap from Diaz.
Well, nice. Topping and scoring, a little bit confusing there. It's 3.5 seconds back to Diaz. 34 seconds all the way back to 7th place, Dwayne Furtick. Once again, Kyler Burden able to put down fast laps through the middle portion of this run. Put down a 1:12.12, last time by a 1:12.28. Last time around, Kyle Diaz was able to put down a 1:12.53. But still not quite enough to close in on that Burden machine.
as Bradley Rivers is reaching the top 10 now.
He is. He's one spot behind Adam Bowden.
Trying to catch up to Adam.
14 seconds between the two, but
I mean, looking for what he's done so far, I wouldn't see that a problem. Still has 13 laps to go, set the pace. I mean, he's gone up 12 positions so far. I wouldn't see it past him to be able to pass Adam.
I don't think it'll be impossible, but I think Adam's going to have some trouble. He's currently sitting just behind Doug D-Nice, about 2 seconds behind D-Nice. Trying to close in on him. It's been about that 2-second gap. Closest battle on the racetrack right now is Michael Carter trying to hold off, or rather chase down Bradley Rivers once again. Big time slide there out of the 32 of Harris. Going to try to stay out of the way.
Michael Carter trying to make something happen on Bradley Rivers right there, as Bradley Rivers getting blocked by the 32 car right there of Harris.
Harris goes in way deep, way wide goes Harris, and he's going to make heavy contact into the wall. No, he didn't.
I have a question. Does that look like a brand new race car?
It does.
They don't have fast repairs, do they?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
They might have one for a road course, I'm not totally sure, but... Anyways, it looked like he was dead set for the wall. Tyler
They
Burton
do
holds
have
on
a
to the
fast
race lead.
repair.
Yeah, that does make sense for the road course. I know they took it away at the beginning of the season. But left it on for short tracks and road courses. Tyler Burton, he's got 3 seconds of a gap. Last time around, Kyle Diaz was just a little bit quicker. Travis Gilbert was able to get around Tay McDonald. Look at how that happened. I believe it had something to do with a Tay McDonald off-track excursion. 17 South just in front of him. He got loose coming out of the carousel. Drove down into the grass, and Travis Gilbert drives through the middle 3 wide.
Driving 3 wide indeed. Crazy to think that 3 wide here at the Glen is happening. That's on the inside. Ooh! A lot is happening here out on the track.
Hey, doesn't want to let Travis get away, though. These guys start to close in on the race leader once again. It's now 3.2 seconds. The late stages of this race with 11 laps to go. It starts to favor the drivers behind. Tell you what, though, catching somebody and passing somebody are 2 completely different situations, as Tay McDonald has caught the back bumper of Travis Gilbert, but is unable to find a way around him into the bus stop. Gonna stay right on his rear bumper through the carousel, try to find a way around into the next braking zone into turn 7. Got him a little bit loose there through the carousel, though. Look at how close Tay McDonald is. He looks to the outside, loses Tay McDonald. He's gonna lose some momentum. Hey, trying once again to push the limits of this race car. Right to the back bumper of Travis Gilbert coming out of the final corner, trying to get enough momentum to make a move to the inside. He's right behind him, getting the slipstream, getting the toe. Not quite enough to make a move into turn 1, as Travis Gilbert's going to be able to defend.
Watch out. Not done putting up a fight. McDonald still on the rear bumper, trying to make something happen.
Tyler Burton working through some lap traffic, and that's going to slow him down a little bit. The gap is now 2 3/4 seconds to second place Kyle Diaz. And as he gets up into drivers like Robert Roth and Alan Holtzman, they are not going to be keen on letting him by. Getting side by side through the carousel here is a battle for 12th place. Alan Holtzman going to go wide. Robert Roth stays low. Here comes Tyler Burton looking to the inside of Roth, and a little bit late on the brakes for Tyler Burton. You can see him slide it on entry, but he's going to make that pass pretty conveniently. Travis Gilbert still has the mirror full of Tay McDonald, but Tay not able to stay quite as close coming up off of the final corner this time. 3 car lengths separate the two going down the front straightaway into the big braking zone, and Tay McDonald gonna try to dive it in deep, gonna try to get as close as he possibly can. Sets him up nicely for the exit here into the S's, but this is a big arrow point. He's got to be able to get up the hill and not lose arrow on the front. He's got a gap to get some air to the front. He might have touched the wall just a little bit, but Tay McDonald all over the rear bumper of Travis Gilbert down the back straightaway here at Watkins Glen. Is he close enough to set up into the bus stop? Not quite. But Travis Gilbert gets a little bit wide there, gets a little bit squirrely through as the 32 goes off once again. That's Marshall Harris. He's going to likely send it to the pit lane. Momentum once again. Tyler Burton increasing his gap to Kyle Diaz up front. It's 3.3 seconds. After getting through the lap traffic, he's able to drive away, but Kyle Diaz still struggling as he now gets around Alan Holtzman. Just about 3 seconds separate the top two, Emily.
Yeah, 3 seconds separating the top two right now. Diaz trying to make something happen. Still not fast going by the last lap. We're in a 113.85, but Tyler Burton is running currently a fast lap out of every one of these drivers running a 113.10. So he is running blazing fast speed.
Travis Gilbert a little bit quicker than Kyle Diaz that last time around as well, but there's so much distance. So many lapped cars between those guys. Unsure if he's going to be able to get close enough to make a move for second place. Especially with Kyle Diaz closing in once again on the race leader.
Looking to close in on the race leader, indeed. Adam Bowen's up 11 spots. Bradley Rivers is up 12, still about the same spots as last time. Still currently our bigger movers as Bradley Rivers is looking to get passed by on the inside.
Comes Dwayne Burdick to the inside of the carousel of John Osborne. They're going to be side by side. Dwayne Burdick allows John Osborne to get that spot right back, but Travis Gilbert is under fire from Tay McDonald. Going through the S's. Tay gonna have to let off just a little bit. Now he's gonna try to utilize the draft up the hill. He's got him in his, he's got the beat on him, man. I don't know what fighter pilots say, but he's in range.
It's like a heat-seeking missile on the back of Gilbert right now. Watch out, Gilbert. You got McDonald's as we have a car around.
Yeah, that was Derek Fulton. Goes around at the end of the bus stop. Dave McDonald continues to lead, but the gap has fallen down to 2.3 seconds. Steve Walsh in between Kyle Diaz and Tay McDonald. Travis Gilbert trying to hold off Tay McDonald.
Tay McDonald making it very hard for Gilbert to be able to allow him to not pass him, but
Alan Holtzman tried to let the two by, and he's not gonna this time. Gilbert goes down to the inside. They're both gonna lock up the brakes just a little bit. Holtzman's gonna let him by, but neither one of them had a great corner there, and that allowed Travis Gilbert to drive away from Tay McDonald just a little bit.
driving away indeed.
Diaz gets around Pete Walsh.
He is in by Pete Walsh right now, allowing Tyler
gets off the racetrack just a little bit there. 6 laps to go, Emily. Coming to 5 laps to go, and I know I've been talking a bunch and talking over you, but what have you got? With 5 laps to go, what can you do if you're behind this 06 car?
If you're behind this 06 car, it is pedal to the metal. You know that Tyler burnt off his stuff. I mean, we've seen the blazing lap times he's put down, right? As Kyle Diaz just ran right now a 112.73, and Tyler Burton's running a 113.38. So, yes, indeed, Kyle Diaz does have a lot of work to catch up to Tyler Burton. But like you mentioned, you can catch up to a car But it's a different story when you try passing that car.
Take a look up top with 5 laps to go. The last lap time from our top 5. Tyler Burden just under a 10th quicker. Now he's coming around Bradley Rivers. Rivers isn't going to give him too much of a fight. Touches the grass there just a little bit. Not something a lot of iRacers do, but we all do it here. Supposed to be go. Sorry. Tyler Burden continues on behind the 8 of Michael Carter, and Carter gets up out of his way as well. Jay McDonald trying to put the bumper to Travis Gilbert here in the carousel.
Almost putting the bumper to Gilbert right there, and on the bumper coming out of the turn.
I think he might have touched bumpers with him in the middle of it, but into the braking zone. Travis Gilbert able to drive away. 4 laps to go, though, for Tyler Burden. Kyle Diaz is able to close in once again. 2 seconds is the gap. Bradley Rivers lets Kyle go. Wayne Furtick to the back of John Osborne, trying to take away the 6th position. And Travis Gilbert still trying to figure out a way to keep Tay McDonald behind him. And Tay trying every inch of the racetrack that the 22 is not running.
Tay McDonald still trying to make something happen. They've both been battling it for the past 4 laps now.
Oh, he's got a good run coming out of the S's. Travis Gilbert's going to have to defend. Tay goes down to the bottom. Gilbert defends. Pete Walsh just in front. They're both locking up on the brakes just a little bit, and they have to take action getting into the bus stop. Neither one of them had a comfortable entry there. You could see them slipping and sliding on the entry.
Flipping and sliding indeed allows Travis Gilbert to be able to get a little gap between him and the car behind him, as Tyler Burden kind of running slow laps right now, as Kyle Diaz is still running the faster laps than him.
Yeah, it looks coming up off of this final corner here. It's going to be about 2 seconds of a gap. I would expect virtually equal lap times. Bradley Rivers has come into the pits. Last time around, it was 3/100ths of a second separation in lap times.
Will it be enough for Kyle Diaz to catch up to Tyler Burden? He's been leading this race all night long. Will it change on the last lap? Just remember, folks, you can lead the race all night long. Once it comes down to that last lap, it's anybody's race, especially if you have Kyle Diaz as a heat-seeking missile right behind you.
And of course, we've gone through this entire race. This has been an incredible race. But we haven't mentioned our sponsors, Bet to Track and Rapid Fire Pizza. We just want to say how much we love you. Bet to Track doing amazing things for veterans, you know, getting them on the racetrack, getting them in the pits, getting them close to the action, and Rapid Fire Pizza available in over 25 cities after starting in a Ohio suburb.
And I will say, one of these days, I will try that pizza.
As soon as I get into Ohio, that's where I'm going first. 2 laps to go. Tyler Burden, 1.7 seconds is the gap. A little bit quicker that time around on Kyle Diaz's part.
Kyle Burden coming up on a lap car right there, 17 South. Going to be interesting to see if 17 South decides to block him. Kind of tried to block him. Kyle Burden has to slow down, but 17 South allows him to get past.
2 laps to go, 1.9 seconds separate the top 2.
Now Kyle Diaz is going to try to have to get past the lap car behind him. Does he get past? Yes, he does. It's going to put a hinder in his operation of trying to catch up to Tyler Burden. We'll see once they come back the start and finish line if it caused it.
Well, it's now 3.5 seconds. The gap between first and second. It seems like Tyler Burden is putting the pedal to the metal. 1 lap to go, just under 2.5 miles here at Watkins Glen. Here in upstate New York, we don't do a whole heck of a lot of lefty-righty racing here, road course racing in NASCAR, but I tell you what, this is an iconic part of the NASCAR schedule. There's so much elevation. There's so much sweeping corners. I don't know, man. This is one of my favorite places to watch a race at. Definitely want to get here in person one day.
Ooh,
A bit
smoke
of a slide
coming from
there
the.
from Fulton coming up out of the final, out of the bus stop there. He's going to stay out of the way. Through the carousel, Tyler Burden. He's led every single lap of this race. He was fastest in practice. He was fastest in qualifying. And if that's not enough of a statement on this weekend, he sponsored this race. Tyler Burden taking every single bit of gratifying moments that he can here. He's going to come up off of the final quarter, gas it up, come across the checkered flag, and he's going to win in upstate New York. Kyle Diaz in second. Travis Gilbert holds on to third. Tay McDonald fourth. Ryan McCall all the way back. Just coming up off the carousel now. That rapid fire pizza machine is going to finish in fifth place.
Amazing race by these drivers here tonight. 24 drivers hit the field. And we are finishing with looks to be 12 cars on the lead lap. Still having cars finish and coming across the line, but wow. Normally, roller coasters, road courses are a little slow for me, if that makes sense. Not that much passing, not that much action, but here tonight, there's some pretty good action.
The thing about road course racing is Doug D. Nice rounds out the top 10 here. Adam Bowden finishes 9th. Michael Carter already finished a lap down. Tyler Burden going to find a place to burn it down here once again. But I feel like, while passing might not happen as often, the setup for the pass itself, means so much more. Nobody can make the pass on Tyler Burden today, and that's what meant the most, as he gets to burn it down as your race winner.
Amazing race by Tyler Burden. Gonna let him keep on burning it down before we pull him up into the booth.
But let's see if we can go ahead and steal one Mr. Travis Gilbert for our third place interview.
Travis, this is Emily and Liam in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. Amazing race by you here tonight, up one position. Finally back after being MIA for a little while and coming back strong, finishing P3 here at the Glen. Amazing job from your car tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Travis, we haven't seen you in a while. What does it mean to come back and finish up at the top 3 after not being here?
Yeah, Tyler and Kyle, they were in a league of their own. I mean, Kyle, Tay, and I, we were having a good battle there for second before the pit stops. The 06 and the 26 pitted before Tay and I did. So it looks like, you know, we gained a little bit, and then they were able to gap us. And then lap traffic caused a situation to where the 73 got put wide into the grass, and I was able to get by him. And it was hard to pass here. Even if you caught somebody and you were faster than they were, it was still very hard to pass.
Travis, you ran a super strong race, and before we ask you about your main sponsors, we definitely want to hear from you about Vets Track.
Yeah, I appreciate Jim Whittam for everything that he does for veterans that come back from serving our country and they feel like maybe they're out of place and they don't have somewhere to fit in, and you know, maybe the misfits of America, but they're the ones that go and serve our country. Sometimes their actions are misunderstood, so they retreat back into isolation, and it creates depression and stuff. So his organization, Vet the Track, reaches out to veterans and tries to get them out and focus on camaraderie. So they can do something outside of the normal everyday life that gets them down and beats them down. So that mental health awareness and everything, that's what the Vet to Track organization is, you know, battling PTSD one lap at a time. That's what we do. You know, every lap out here, every corner is a new battle. So it's, you know, gives me something to focus on. And so does the veterans who go and participate in the Vet to Track days and everything like that. And appreciate everything that Vet to Track does for everybody. So if you can go support them, reach out to www.vettotrack.org. I know that they can appreciate it. Every $500 can put a veteran on the racetrack for a Vet to Track day. So never know how many veterans you're saving by going and doing that stuff. That's why I raced the number 22, because 22 veterans commit suicide a day, and I've been told it's a lot higher, but I refuse to raise my card number because I don't. If that's the case, we'll run out of veterans here pretty soon. So just go support our vets, and thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Matt, any other sponsors you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, the GWR team, you know, Rob and Chris, they show up in practice. Same with Tay. Tay's always super fast, one of the fastest guys on the track. Thanks to ECR for putting this on. Same with Sim Racing Media. My buddy Terry, he's battling bladder cancer and everything, and he's going through chemo treatment. So this was a hard-fought battle to give him a shout out. And my mom's not doing so good, so a shout out to her and to everybody's health who they're experiencing and battling something. You don't have to be just battling PTSD for us to want to support you, and that, you know, a lot of people got cancer going on in their life. My son is a couple years cancer free, so shout out to all the cancer survivors and people who are battling it. Same with the families and stuff. So hearts go out to them and support, love.
Some stuff, Travis. Congratulations on the third place, and thanks for all those kind words for everybody going through something.
Appreciate that. Thank you guys. You guys have a good night.
All right, now we'll bring up second place, Kyle Diaz, I believe.
What's up? How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, Kyle. How you doing?
Pretty good. Just feeling a little bit tired and sweaty from that heck of a race that we just had there at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, dude. Walk us through that battle that you had with Travis, Tay, and yourself at the beginning of the race, basically up until that first pit stop.
Yeah, the beginning of the race there, I started to the outside, I guess, of Tyler, and Tay was able to get the preferred line, so he was able to get around me in the beginning, but I was able to make a good move in 6 and 7 to get the inside run coming out on the front stretch, and then made the move into 1. And then from there, we're all just kind of lined up for a good bit there, just racing each other pretty close by. And just up until the pit stop right there, Tyler had a pretty good lead, but I was able to get into the pits right there and get the gap back down.
Now, what happened on that pit stop? Because obviously you gained a ton. Looking at the pit time, you gained 2 seconds on the pit stop alone.
I think I gained most. I
Yeah,
think I gained most of it on entry, I think, because I was wanting to say like 3 seconds or so back, but then I was able to get near his bumper, and then also I was able to get a pretty good exit. I don't know if he filled up a little bit more than me, but I also got a full fuel tank, obviously, but I don't know if he does maybe used more fuel, so it maybe made him stay there for half a second longer, but I think maybe that was also a difference maker right there.
Able to get close, but not quite close enough. Was there anything more you could have done?
Oh, the lap traffic was kind of helping me there. I know we were both getting kind of caught out in some pretty bad spots there, but I was giving it my all there, but I don't think I would have got there in time, but I gave him my best effort, and just that's all you can really do, you know. I'm proud of the effort. Good win to Tyler, and yeah.
Well, before we let you go, who do you want to shout out? Who helped to get it done week in and week out on that 26 car?
My teammates, of course. I love racing with them. We always have some good teamwork, and my mom and my dad and everybody else watching, and you guys, of course, doing the broadcast. I like watching them back, so appreciate that. And I'm tired, to say the least.
Well, it was a well-earned second place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Well, now we're going to bring in our last but not least, Tyler Burden, our race winner. Tyler, it's Liam and Emily up in the booth. How you doing?
Doing good. Does this mic sound better than the other one?
I don't know what the other one sounded like, but this one sounds great.
The other one sounded like trash.
This one is not, so you're good, man. And speaking of being good, you were good all weekend, all day. You were fastest in practice, you were fastest in qualifying, beyond fastest in the race. And not only that, but you put the cherry on top by being the sponsor of the race. What does it mean to throw together such a perfect weekend when you sponsor the weekend like this?
Collar hand real good. Yeah, I'm not too sure what to do with my hands. No, it's always fun because last year we had an incident where I probably should have gotten the win at Watkins Glen, but they did a competition caution and it was just a melee. And unfortunately, I got taken out in it. But everyone knows that when it comes to Watkins Glen, I'm gonna be a beast at it. Because I'm gonna be honest, I love oval racing, but with my ADHD, I like making left and right turns because it gives that dopamine hit every time. Every turn you make, it's a dopamine.
You made pretty much every corner perfect. I know you got caught up in some lap traffic, and that allowed that lead to close down a little bit. Were you ever worried about that as it got within, 3 or 2 seconds, or were you just kind of playing your own strategy?
Well, I got a little worried at it when I was behind a group of lap cars and it got down to 1.5. And I was like, whoa, that's not supposed to happen. But yeah, I just kept running consistently, and just kept running my line, hitting my braking points. And I know Diaz is real good. Me and him have worked on the road course stuff before, and I got a little worried, but I just buckled down and ran my race, and it all came together like I planned it to.
Those last couple of laps, you seemed to really be able to stretch it out. It was like 1.8 with 3 seconds, or with 3 laps to go, and then you win the race with a 4-second gap. Just kind of toying with these guys, or kind of came together those last couple laps?
Yeah, I was kind of toying, and then I know that the fuel burn off is real with these cars. Like once you get to like 5 laps to go on fuel, the weight of the car, you just pick up speed because the car weighs less because it's got less fuel in it. I kind of was toying because I wanted to back it down and make sure that I didn't wreck the car, because a lot of the time at these road courses it's a lot of survival. It's not all about being entirely fast, but it's about survival, making sure you keep the car in one piece there for the end. But I did the last 3 laps. I turned up the wick on it and started driving in a little deeper and getting on hitting my shifts a lot faster than what I had been the majority of the race.
It definitely showed. You were phenomenally fast all day, but especially those last couple of laps.
Keep in mind one thing. Whenever I do road courses, I do the actual shifting. Like I actually grab a shifter when I do this. Or if the car's got an H pattern, I actually use an H pattern. I don't paddle shift. I don't cheat.
So for this car, did you paddle shift or did you H pattern?
I slapstick.
Okay, yeah. Because there's a sequential shifter on this car. Slapstick.
Yeah.
Would be the way to go. Seemed to work for you, but before we let you go, who do you want to thank for such a strong run here today? Getting the win here at Watkins Glen in your own sponsored race.
I definitely want to thank all the young guys. I slapped Summit Racing because on the car because Might as well I sponsor them because I've got a '88 Camaro I'm turning into a track car, street legal track car, and I've been paying Summit quite a bit of money here lately. So if Summit's actually watching, I'm sure they're not. If they actually want to slap their name on my car, the car's already done.
All right, Tyler, congratulations on the race win here. We'll hopefully be talking to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
That's going to about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. Go ahead and show you our results for the race. Tyler Burton gets the job done over Kyle Diaz, Travis Gilbert, Tay McDonald, Ryan McCall, John Osborne, Dwayne Furtick, Doug D. Nice, Adam Bowden, and Michael Carter, rounding out the top 10.
11th is going to be Alan Holtzman. 12th is going to be Robert Robb. 13th is going to be Bradley Rivers. I believe he was up, 13 spots?
At one point, yes.
Got Kinley finishing 14th, 15th Christopher Ross, 16th Pete Wall, 17th South. Quite funny right there. Little tongue twister, did not expect that. 18th gonna be Derek Fulton, 19th Marshall Harris, 20th Aaron Spear, 21st Aaron Miller, 22nd Alan Bergen, our own SRM friend here racing here tonight. 23 is going to be Eric Midget. 24 is going to be Kent Mueller. And that will round out our field here tonight.
And we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in here on Sim Racing Media. It means the world to us. As we let you go, just that friendly reminder to rock through the streets of life. Please don't play in traffic. Thanks for tuning in, folks.